Hello all. Welcome to the next topic of the AWS Cloud Architect. In the previous topic, we have seen EC2 instance types. Now, in this topic, we will see how to create a virtual machine on AWS Cloud. So before going into the creation of the virtual machine, so what we have to do is first we have to select in which region that you want to have virtual machine, and you have to choose what type of instance you want. That is, whether you want to have your instance for the only general purpose applications, or you want to have memory optimized instance, whether you want to have computing optimized instance or GPU optimized instance, that you have to choose. Next, after selecting that, you have to select an image where you need to select the type of operating system that you want to have in that instance. Next, here what I'm going to do in this topic is I'm going to create an instance. When I'm calling instance, that means I'm pointing to this virtual machine or server. All these are same. Instance, virtual machine, server, all are same. After creating instance, I will access it from my local machine. Then after that, I will assign one IP address to that. Then I will ping it from the local machine. So when I'm getting response from the instance that I have created on the Amazon cloud, it means the instance is successfully deployed on the cloud. So this is what we are going to do now. Now let's first go to your Amazon console, that is AWS console. I hope you have created your own AWS account. So now here right now I am in this North Virginia region. Okay, if you want you can change this region also, but be careful while selecting the region. Okay, so now once you log in, here you can see all the services. As we are going to launch an instance, we have to select this computing service, that is EC2, where you can create the virtual server in the cloud. So now click on this EC2. Next, it will take some time. If already any instances are running, that will be visible here. Here one running instance is there. Okay, we'll discuss what is this dedicated host, volumes, key pairs, elastic IPs in coming sessions. What is the snapshot, load balancer, and security groups and all we'll discuss in the coming session. So right now one running instance is there. So now if you want to create a new instance, you go to this instance. Next, here this instance is already running, so I don't want to touch this. We will ignore this portion right now. You go here, click on this launch instance. Next, see here, you can see this side, my AMIs, AWS Marketplace, Community, AMIs and all. AMI is nothing but it is a Amazon images. Okay, you can have your own image that you can store in your AWS account, or else you can share your image with other community also. Okay, so right now you can observe here, these are the various images that are listed here. AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image. Okay, so now during the practice session, I recommend you to choose this Amazon Linux AMI. Okay, so if you see this Linux, Amazon Linux, it is first of all free tier. This is also free tier. Okay, either choose this one or this one. You can see here each and every AMI, one ID is assigned to the each image. This image ID will be changes from location to the location. See, for example, if I select another location, see now this location, in this location of Virginia, it is 178, ending with 178. If you go to select this, over here, let's see what it will be. It will take some time. You need to have some patience because I'm delivering it live, so it may take little time. See here, now in this region, this is changed 152. Okay, so now you have to remember this image ID also. Why? Because so in real time we will deploy our servers in multiple regions. So when we want to connect to those servers which is located at multiple regions, so we require this AMI image. So we have to take care of this image ID also. Okay, you need not to remember it, but when we write any script, this AMI IDs will be useful. Okay, now I will go to the default region, that is North Virginia, and let's try to create the image. Okay, now I would like to select this one, Amazon Linux AMI. Okay, so you can see here this Amazon Linux AMI. First, this is also freeware. Okay, Elastic block storage background. It supports the image. The default image includes AWS command line tools, Python, Ruby, Perl, and Java. So all these are inbuilt in this image. If you want, you can install other packages during the setup time or after installing also. Okay. Now we select this. So now what type of instance that you want to have? In previous session we have seen the instance types and what are those configurations. See here T2 Nano is there. This is not freeware. T2 Micro is free type eligible for my account. Okay, after 12 months this will be disappear. Okay, so now what is the configuration of this? There is only one CPU and 1 GB memory it is. Okay, some other details are there, and this belongs to the general purpose family like this. So depending on the need, if you want more number of CPUs, you can select this. If you select this as per this family standard, the bill will be get generated. Okay, so right now when you want to have only single virtual machine for basic things, like if you want to test your web application, better to go with this free type eligible type. Okay, where you will get the 1 CPU and 1 GB memory. Okay, then after this you have to do some configuration instance details. Go here, next stage. So how many instances of the same type you want to launch? Here you can 1, 10, 15, whatever it is. Okay, next we will discuss this network, subnet, auto assign public IP and all in coming session. Okay, this VPC, and this is a very lengthy process. Okay, a lengthy topic in fact. Okay, so network I am choosing the default network, and subnet, default subnet I have chosen, means whatever the available zone is there, in that zone it will be get selected. This is a region. In this region there will be a multiple available zones will be there, so that in the default zone it will be get created. Okay, so we will see this subnetting and VPC portion in the coming session. Actually we have to start the session from the networking, so but I am started from this EC2 itself. Okay, next auto assign public IP. Okay, so the IP will be assigned automatically as per this subnet standard. Okay, next, this will be, you forget about this for a moment, and this is keep it none. Shutdown behavior, make it a stop, means there are options out there. Stop and terminate means once you stop your machine, it will be, if you select terminate, once you stop, that will be get terminated. Okay, so better make it stop, and some more are there. So if you select this hibernating and all, so the hibernate behavior will be applied for this. Here all are not free. So if you want more options, so depending on the option that you have chosen, the bill will be get generated. Next, if you want to have the whether CloudWatch is required or not. See, by default, this every machine will be watched for every 5 minutes. Means for every 5 minutes, you will get the report of your machine. If you enable the CloudWatch, for every 1 minute, you will get the report of your server details. Means what was the load, at what time the higher load is there, at what time the lowest load is there, how was the CPU performance, and all that you can monitor minute by minute. Otherwise, if you don't select that, for every 5 minutes, you can see those details. So when we are running a large configured application, when multiple users are trying to access at the same time, so we need to monitor the load over the server. So to monitor that, we have to enable this. This is not free. See, additional charges are applicable for this. Okay, next, tenancy means where you want to, how you want to have this rent. Whether you want to have this on a shared basis. Here, 3 options will be there. One is shared, run a shared hardware instance, means your hardware will be shared. Okay, next, run a dedicated instance, complete hardware will be given to you. So if you select this run a shared hardware instance, what will happen is, if, for example, if there is a hardware like this, means for example, 4 CPUs are there. In this 4 CPU, if you want to have only one CPU, okay, assume there are 4 parts are there, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in these 4 parts, only one CPU that you want to use. So if this portion is given to you, for example, if 1 second. Okay. 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 Assume there are 4 CPUs are there, and which is on shared base. So on shared base, for example, you want one CPU, okay, and some other user want another CPU. Okay, user 1 want one CPU, and user 2 wants say 2 CPUs. Okay, and user 3 want one more CPU. So as there are 4 CPUs are there, so this will be given to the one user. Say user 1 will get this portion, and user 2 want 2 CPUs. So you will get 2 more portion, that may be okay, and somewhere user 3. Like this, it will be allocated to you, even the memory space also. So as you are accessing this shared resource, your whatever the underlying hardware is there, that will be shared among the multiple users. That is what this run a shared hardware instance. If you select this run a dedicated instance, the complete hardware will be given to you. So, but you will get the additional charge for that. Okay. Elastic interference, this we will discuss later. You keep everything by default. Okay. Next, advanced detail, and you keep everything blank here. We will discuss this. And during the setting up, if you want to execute any external file, for example, MySQL you want to install. So what you can do, after installing or after setting up the virtual machine, you need not to install those softwares, extra softwares additionally. So during the setting up this instance itself, you can install those. Okay. So for those, what to do, you have to write a script here. So generally in Ubuntu, we will install, we will first update this. Then after that, what we'll do, we will install any packages like this: sudo apt get install. Okay, so for example, MySQL. If this package is existed during the setting of your virtual server, this MySQL will be get installed. Okay. Next, go to this. You have to add the storage details. Okay. So by default, 8 GB memory will be given to you. If you want, you can increase it. Next, what should be the volume type? So for general purpose, you select this SSD. Okay. For provisioned IOPS, that is, if you want to have the improved performance, you can select this other type of SSD. Okay. Next, go to tags. So currently there are no tags. If you want, you can add the tags. Means, so what is the purpose? What is the this is okay. This will be used in a later stage. This is for just test server, something like you can add. Okay. Next, you have to add the security group. This is very important. So this security group plays major role while sending traffic from your virtual server to the outside network. Similarly, to access a traffic into the virtual server, this plays major role. So as we are going to connect it from the our local machine, so we require this SSH, secure shell, so that we can access our virtual machine. And similarly, there are many types of many protocols will be there, many security protocols will be there. For example, let us say this HTTP. If you want to run any web application in your local machine, you have to select this HTTP. Okay, if you want to run the MySQL and if you want to access it, you can select this MySQL. Okay, or MS SQL, whatever it is. Okay, PostgreSQL, your MySQL is there. You want to run the MySQL, so you have to enable this 3306 port. Okay, so one after other you can add. Okay, so now what I will do is I will just enable this SSH. Okay, and here if you want to write, you can add the description. Okay, if you enable this SSH, what will happen? You can just connect it to your local machine. So sorry, you can connect it to your virtual machine from your local environment. Okay. So now what I will do is, now just I will add this security group. You can give the name for this. This is, I will give it as a test one security group. I am just enabling this SSH. Okay. So as no security group other than this SSH, there is no security type like HTTP. As HTTP is not enabled in this group test one, you cannot access any web application which is existed in this machine. Okay. If you want to access the web application, you have to enable the HTTP. For this, you have to add the rule. Add rule. Select the HTTP. Okay. Like this. This 000 means from any network you can access it. From any network you can access this. Next, this 0 stands for the IPv6. This 0 is for, this is for IP4. This is for IPv6. 6. Okay, like this you can add a number of roles. If you want to access MySQL which is installed in your machine, okay, you have to select this MySQL error. Okay, like this. Here again you have to write this 000 on everything, copy and paste here. Okay, right now I don't have any, I don't want to install any web server and MySQL. Just I will create it and I will access it using this secure shell. If you select Windows and you want to have the graphical user interface of that Windows, you have to select here this RDP port has to be enabled. Where is that? Let us see this RDP port. Okay, when this RDP port is enabled, so what you can do, you have to install that RDP in your local machine. Then you can connect it to your Windows machine. As now we have selected only the Ubuntu operating system, so we don't require any graphical user interface. Using the command prompt, we can access this SSH. Okay. If you have any existing security group, that is also you can select. But here I am creating this new security group. So each group consists of several rules, several protocols. In test one, I have enabled only SSH. You can create one more security group like a test_2, in which you can enable SSH and HTTP like this. Okay. Next time, okay, just you review all the details. See, we are going to install our virtual machine with this image. That is, we are going to install this Linux. We have selected this T2 micro for our general purpose, and this T2 micro is having one CPU and one memory. We have selected this test1 group. We have created this test1 security group, in which we have allowed only SSH. Okay, these are some of the additional details of instance. Okay, and let us see the storage also. We are going to have our virtual machine with this 8 GB memory. Okay, just launch. Again, this is another important point. Okay, for your virtual machine, you should have the key. Okay, that key you have to generate it. Okay, either you can choose an existing key or you can create a new key also. Okay, so you choose an existing key or create a new pair. Okay, I am creating a new pair here. So test. What will happen once you create a new pair? A PEM file will be get created. Sorry, this test is also already existed. So I'll write it as a test1. Okay, what is that? I'll write test_1. Then I'm downloading it. You should have this key with you only. Then only you can enter into the room. Okay, once your room is locked, and if you have that key for your room, then only you can enter. This is also same. If you want to access your AWS instance, you should have this key. Okay, now the public key will be stored with a key pair consists of a public key that AWS store. AWS having your public key and private key will be with you. Okay, now I am going to launch this new pair, instance. It will take just within 1 minute, everything will be get installed. That is the beauty of the Linux. So in less than 1 minute, everything will be get installed. So if you choose Windows operating system, it will take some time, and that is also chargeable. Okay, so as I would like to appeal that better to work with Linux operating system, because it is a freeware and you will get the more updates easily, and it is also secure. Okay, just click on this view instance. It is already created now. Okay, see here, now the name given it is test here. Okay, once you click this, you will see all the details here. See here, so as we have selected default or assign an IP, whatever the available in that subnet. So the default IP address, means whatever the IP right currently available in that subnet, that is assigned here. So this is what the IP address assigned to this machine. Okay. Now see, this is the public DNS. Okay. Using this DNS, you can connect it to your machine. Okay. You can see here, now it is running here. So as we have not assigned any elastic IP. Elastic IP is nothing but user will get his own IP address to this machine. That will not be changed. So if we don't assign this elastic IP, what will happen is this IP address will be get changed. Okay, whenever you restart your server. Okay, as if you assign elastic IP, this will be fixed to your instance. That won't be get changed. Okay. So, but this elastic IP is again chargeable. It is very nominal. So, if you take any elastic IP for one machine, hardly $1 or $2 will be applied to your machine. So now instance is created. Now how we can connect to this instance from our local machine? Let us see. As we have installed that Ubuntu operating system in that, so how we can connect to this? Let us see. So you can see this status check here. Okay. See, you can see the instance status here. Okay. For every 5 minutes it will be get updated, as we have not selected that monitoring option. Okay. See, CloudWatch is there. This is by default. We have not enabled it. So for every 5 minutes you will get the updates. Okay. So this is another machine. What is the okay? Now let us see how we can connect to this machine from our local machine. Okay. Right now we have created an instance on our Amazon Web Services. Okay. Now we will try to access or connect to this from our local machine. For this, you require this one. Okay. Or this is also enough. This IP address is also enough. Okay. So I have copied this. So you go to your command prompt. Okay. And then you have to use this, and you have to pass this sudo ssh -i, and the key. I think the key what we have selected is test1.pem. Okay. Ubuntu is the username, and @shift b. Okay, this is the IP address. Let's see what will happen, whether we're going to connect or any errors will come. Let us see. It will ask for the first time. It will ask this. Okay, I think permission is denied. Something went wrong. So let us copy this and access it. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Let's see what will happen. Stay. Okay. I think we are logging. Okay. Okay. What we have to do is the username should be EC2 user. Yes, it should be EC2 user. Okay, if you select any Ubuntu operating system, you have to write the Ubuntu that IP address given. See here, now we have logged into that instance what we have created. That image is Amazon Linux AMI. Okay, if you want to run any updates, here you can run. How? See, I think you know some of the basic Linux commands. If you type ls, nothing is there. So sudo su, sorry, command is incorrect. So you log in as a super user. Okay, you have to type ls minus ll. So nothing is there. ls, nothing is there. So you're logging as a root, cd/root. You can type this ls. You can see the system related files here, bin, boot, cgrep, something. Okay. If you want to create anything, any directory, see I'm going to this home directory. If you want to create, you can direct here. You can create a mkdir, say my sample folder I will create. Okay, you can see this ls sample is created. Okay. If you want to create any normal file, say cat run. If you want to run any C program, say cat greater than, I'll write this hello.c. Okay, you can write the program here, include stdio.h. Okay, you write some code here. What is that? Void main. Then what is the statement? Printf. Say hello something else. Okay, oops, error will come, I guess, because semicolon is missing now. Okay, for coming out this, to come out from the cat, you just type this control Z. Okay, in this we have this hello.c. So using this GCC you can compile it. Okay, of course this GCC is not there. You have to install that GCC command so that you can. I think let me write this G++. I'll try whether it is there or not. Yeah, this is also not there. So GCC you have to install in this machine. Then you can run the program. Okay. So right now what I did, I have connected, right now I'm not in my local environment. I am in the Amazon's virtual machine environment. So from this you can access all your files and all. Okay. Now I will come out from this and I will try to check whether the service is on or not. So how we can do, just you type ping and the IP address of that. You need to get the response. So far you are not getting. Okay. So otherwise what you can do, you try with this. Okay. And you ping to this. Okay. What is that? Ping. Okay. Yeah. Ping is not working. Why? Ping is a ICMP protocol, which is not enabled in the security group, right? We have selected this security group. What? Test one. Where is the Where is that test security group? You can see the security group here. We can change our security groups later, no problem. So right now in my account, these many security groups are there. I will edit this security group. Okay. Here there is inbound rules and outbound rules are there. Inbound rules means what kind of traffic or what kind of packets that you want to accept. So through SSH you can. So here SSH is enabled. So whatever the traffic that is coming through this SSH, that will be accepted. Outbound rule means what traffic should go outside the network, means from your virtual machine, what type of traffic should go outside. That will be placed here. So all traffic, everything you are allowing from your virtual machine to the outside. So in this inbound rule, I will edit this and I will allow the IMCP if it is there. It is not there. So what I will do is I will allow the all ICMP, Internet Control Protocol. This is, I will select this, okay, and write anywhere, okay, then add this rule. So this is already added. So this rule is added. Just save this rule. Okay. Now let us check whether it is coming or not. See, now the response is coming. Okay. Even with this also you can select. This is what checking whether your server is connected from the outside the network or not. So depending on the security group that you define for your virtual machine, okay, you can connect or you can allow various type of data to your virtual machine. So this is what creating an instance or creating a virtual machine over the Amazon Web Service. In next session, we will see some more details about this EC2, that is what is virtual private cloud, how to assign elastic IP, and how to set up Ubuntu in your virtual machine. That we will see in the coming session. Thank you. Hello all. Welcome to the next topic of the AWS Cloud Architect. In the previous topic,